10 things your financial advisor should be reviewing with you every single year. Hey, I'm Zach Lundak. I'm an hourly financial planner for millionaires who want to work with a financial planner without paying AUM fees. So let's get into the 10 things your advisor should be doing with you every single year. Number one, a comprehensive investment review. Now, this is where most annual reviews begin and end, unfortunately. So what you end up paying for is basically a really expensive reporting package from your advisor, but make sure that they really get into this with you because it's important to review not only the investments, but how much they're charging you, what their performance has been, and what their relative performance has been. I had a client once, as we went through his investments, it was clear that he had the ability to take as much as up to 100% equity risk. He just didn't really have that much need for the capital that he had saved and earned up to that point. But it was clear that he didn't need to take all that risk. So we ended up reducing his allocation to stocks, lowered the volatility that he was experiencing when the market was turbulent. And during that next downturn, he was really appreciative that we did that because he didn't have to see his investments move all over the place for no reason. So make sure that you're looking at your investments not only in the context of performance relative to other investment options, but is it really serving your financial plan? 2 is proactive tax strategy. So looking at this well in advance of April 15th and figuring out, hey, am I on the right track? Are there options that we could be looking at to reduce taxes this year and in future years? You know, I've got to pay a lot of taxes over my entire lifetime. What are we doing for those years that are way out? And can we be taking steps now to reduce that overall lifetime tax burden? One of my favorite examples from working with a real client was we had a family, they had a lot of concentrated stock. It was appreciated heavily. One of their goals was they wanted to gift to kids every year. They had a daughter in college. She was graduated college, wasn't started her full-time job yet, and she was in the 0% capital gains tax bracket. So we were able to use some of that stock to satisfy the gift to the daughter. She was able to sell the stock and not pay any capital gains tax on that, just due to her tax situation in that particular year. And it was really it was a win-win because we reduced their concentrated position, we reduced overall lifetime taxes, and we satisfied making the gift to family. Number 3, update your retirement projections. Don't just look at your Monte Carlo simulations and go, oh yeah, that looks good, but really dig in and see what is driving this projection. Look at the sensitivity analysis for, hey, what if returns are lower than we expect going forward? What if we spend a little bit more? What if healthcare expenses ramp up in retirement? You know, what if we want to do a little bit more travel than we were thinking? All those things play into it. So make sure to play with the numbers. Don't just accept a static plan as status quo and move on to the next thing, because that can be a really important thing. Number 4, insurance. I know this is boring, but make sure you review it at least once a year. Just make sure you have all your bases covered and that nothing is going to come out of left field and derail all this planning that you've been doing, all this work that you've been doing. So make sure you look at insurance. Don't stress over it too much, but don't let it sit for 5-10 years before you look at it. 5, estate planning. I know, but trust me, I've seen the most just wild stuff with estate planning. Missing beneficiary designations, the wrong beneficiary designations, and even going through all the effort of actually having an attorney draft up these legal documents that are thousands of dollars and then not actually doing anything with them. Not telling your family where they are. And the thing that you see time and time again is if you have a revocable trust, just because the lawyer drafted it for you doesn't mean you actually have assets in the trust. You actually have to title the assets in the name of the trust. So don't just go to the estate planning attorney and then don't do anything. You actually have to take some extra steps to get that implemented. And your advisor should be helping you with that. Number 6 is goal progress tracking. Now, if you have your review year after year after year and it's like, oh, yep, everything's on track, everything looks good. It's like, what actual things are we measuring to make sure we're making progress towards our goals here? Is it retirement? Hey, I want to buy a vacation home. Is it education planning? What percentages, what dollar amount do I need to get to actually fund some of those goals? So make sure you actually have a dashboard to make sure you meet your goals. 7 is cash flow planning. Cash flow planning in retirement is the whole name of the game, really. You're trying to replace your paychecks with paychecks from your investment account that you built up over many, many years. So you have to understand, where is this cash coming from and what are the pros and cons of it coming from that situation? If it's, hey, I'm going to live off dividends, or hey, I'm going to clip coupons from and just live off bond interest. There's some trade-offs with each of those strategies, and sometimes it makes sense to have a combination of both strategies, but you have to understand where your cash is coming from, because if you don't, that's going to be a pretty stressful situation. 8 is tax-efficient strategies. It's not good enough. I mentioned this at the beginning when I was talking about the investment review. It's not good enough to say, hey, this investment's going to earn X. You have to understand why you're earning that return and what the tax consequences of that return are. It doesn't really matter how much returns you generate if all of that return is going to be eaten up by taxes and fees. So you have to understand your net result result of your investments, and taxes play a huge part of that. So understand how your investments are taxed and which investments should go in which tax type of account. Number 9 is charitable giving. Don't give to charity without talking to your advisor, because they can likely save you a lot of money in taxes. This came up for me once when I was talking with a client. They were saying, oh yeah, we're making some donations to the local zoo, which was great, but we were actually able to look at that a little bit closer, and we saved them thousands of dollars, because instead of just using cash from their bank account, we were able to transfer some stock from their brokerage account to the zoo's brokerage account, and they didn't have to pay capital gains tax to the client or the zoo. So that was a quick, easy win. Don't be modest when it comes to charitable giving. I mean, maybe publicly, but with your advisor, tell them everything you're doing, because you could probably save some money. Number 10 is setting expectations for the coming year with your advisor. How many times are you guys going to check in? What do you want to talk about? What are your big goals? What are your cash needs? That's a big one. And just have that relationship kind of mapped out for the next 12 months, because that will help communication and have you have a better relationship with your advisor. So if you found this helpful and you want a checklist as you maybe head into your annual review with your advisor, check out the description below, link my blog, and there's a free resource there where you can get the checklist for the items that I just covered and what might be helpful for your next annual review. So hope you're doing well, and we'll see you later. Bye.